So the editorial role's really interesting. You're really the champion for your book right from the very first seconds. So you're working with an author to develop a concept. You'll be involved in the research around that to make sure that it would be a good book to acquire for your company. You'll be doing the costings to make sure that it's profitable, has the potential to be profitable. And then you'll be working with the author through the writing process. So you'll be supporting them and answering any questions they might have. Once they've submitted the manuscript, you'll be doing the job of tying everything together. So making sure that the product that's been submitted is the one that you wanted, making sure that the rights are all in place and the jacket design and the cover copy is all prepared, passing that across to the production team to make sure that it can be processed and brought out to market. And alongside all of that, working with the marketing team on a promotional campaign and making sure that we're identifying the right audience. So it's a really varied role and a lot of fun and a really rewarding career to be involved in.
An editor's main responsibility in my line of work in commercial academic publishing is to commission. What do I mean by commission? I'm authorising and entrusting someone with the task of creating content, whether that be in the form of a book, an article, a video, or any other format. In order to be able to commission effectively, I need to have a clear grasp of the target market. So I spend a lot of my time with subject experts and customers, as well as looking at competing products in order to develop this knowledge. As you might expect, an editor does a lot of reading. Once a book has been signed up, I help authors to craft their content. I also help to support colleagues in production, design, marketing, and sales. So it's fair to say that it's a really varied role and that no 2 days are the same.
So there are some key skills that I think all editors share. One is the ability to communicate clearly and succinctly. Another is the ability to be very organized. You'll have a lot of things to deal with, and it's the capacity to plan and manage your time effectively. Another skill that I think that can be overlooked, but it's really important, is commercial acumen. So as editors, I think there's a sense that we sit leafing through manuscripts all day. And while there is an element of that, there's also a lot of business skills involved in the role. So being comfortable with numbers and being able to forecast and deal with costs is really important, as well as being able to see the direction of travel for the industry as a whole. And because there's so much to do with the job, I think kind of two final key skills are an ability to be nice and calm and unflappable as much as possible, and also to deal with any challenges with good humor and good grace. And I think that those two in particular will take you a long way.
A good editor should ideally possess an interest in and a certain degree of familiarity with what they're publishing, but it's important to stress that they needn't be experts in the subject. For example, in my career so far, I've commissioned in areas as diverse as politics and international relations, film studies, criminology, and social work, and yet my academic background is in English literature. The most important thing is that an editor knows their market, whether, as in my case, it's the university student market or it's a general audience interested in current affairs, travel writing, or crime fiction. If they know their market, then editors will have a good eye for where there's demand for new publishing and will be able to identify and help authors who are capable of delivering these publications. Another piece of advice that I'd give is to remember that Google is your friend sometimes. There is plenty of information out there on the internet, whether that be via Twitter in terms of good people to follow, or societies such as the Society for Young Publishers, the Publishers Association, Book Machine, and there's plenty of websites out there to check out the latest news and trends. Scholarly Kitchen is an excellent one for people interested in academic publishing.
So if you want to work as an editor in publishing, there are lots of things you can do to develop the relevant skills. You'll hear a lot about getting work experience, and obviously that's competitive and can be really difficult, particularly at the moment in the current climate. Remember that all work experience can be relevant if you demonstrate that the skills are transferable, particularly if you can pick up any office work experience for a role in editorial. Look at opportunities that might be sitting around you. So if you're at school or university, is there a magazine or a journal that you could be involved in editing or working on? Make sure that you look around social media as well. So following key thinkers in the field, engaging with them directly. Lots of people will give their time and give kind of advice quite freely. And a last piece of advice would be to back yourself. So if the opportunities aren't out there, just create them. So for example, if you're interested in book reviewing, create a book review blog or a vlog. Look at setting up your own social media accounts, perhaps set up a website. If you demonstrate to a company that you have attempted to acquire some of the skills that you might need independently, that really speaks volumes.